Yes. Turn that down, man. Hope everybody's doing okay. Yes. Let's pause that. So S&P 500 selling off. We're down what? 1.5% this morning. I said that song hits hard, and my Wi-Fi is so shitty in Colombia. Yeah, Colombia is not known for their great Wi-Fi, that's for sure. So, I don't know. I haven't done much this morning. Look at a few charts. It's year end. Really thought we were getting a year end rally. This is, I want to show you something. This is super common. Whenever you get, and you'll see this pattern, you have to take the signals because it's not 100%. Whenever you have these tops that are put in and you get a nice little pullback and then it starts to run again, often it takes a couple times, because the pullback just isn't big enough. Whenever, here again, we see it where it pulls back, puts in a stage one, stops right where it stopped before, right? Okay. Really, you'd like to see it come back further. The further it comes down, the more likely you're going to get a solid rally. And then look, immediately hits previous high and just stops. It just stops, man. It just stops. What's up, Michael? Michael. So, that's one of the basic principles of the money flow. Price has memory. That's why we get support and resistance, right? And it's not perfect. It's more of an art than a science. And it's kind of a guide more so than an exact thing. And, we see it playing out. You see it right there. Boom. Hit that high. Came back down. So this is our new high, man. Like that's, and this is our new low. And down from that, we're getting down into here, which would that be crazy if it came back to 430? No, that'd just be normal life, man. That'd just be normal life. And if you notice, that would make a really nice money flow pattern of sideways up, sideways, and then if it came down. So that's the S&P 500. That's the wind. Not a total disaster yet. Has pulled back. Maybe it holds this and we continue on higher. I'm still playing off of this breakout. And this is the low. So I can't switch, I don't like whipsawing. So I like to dance with the girl that brought me. So until this structurally breaks down, I'm still trading a breakout. Now, a concept taught by Dr. Elder and Wiles Wilder, who created the RSI indicator. He created a lot of these indicators that people use today, ADMX. I'm trying to think of some. He's created a bunch of them. My brain's slipping. He would call this the extreme point rule, in that, let's say you bought this breakout here, right? Well, if you bought that breakout there, his extreme point rule would be right here. In other words, he would stay with this signal until price broke that point right there. So that was a stage 2 breakout, and so far it's failing. He would not be quick to cut it. In other words, you, again, dance with the girl that brought you. So you stay with this signal until structurally it breaks down. So as far as I'm considering, we're still in a stage 2 breakout until price breaks that. That's just how I have to see the money flow. Obviously it doesn't look great, but it's it's not bad either. So, and we're still inside of the candle. We used to call them engulfing candles back in the day. If price was inside of this candle or inside of this bar, I don't use candles. It's this candle is a bullish candle. It engulfed all the other candles. So if you've ever studied much in the way of candlesticks, they talk about engulfing patterns, where one day engulfs a bunch of others. It's still inside of this day. So, nothing to get really worried about yet. Yes, sir. Dennis, let's see. What do we got going on? What's up, Steve? And I got those videos, bro. Gerald, do you trade short-term, long-term, options, or both? All of the above. A new swing trade I put on, but if the SPY turns on us, will it work? Don't know. WBX, I like the pattern. Big run up, works it off, puts in a solid stage one, starts to run. I like that pattern. So that's the pattern I look for. In a bull market, if everything's going well, this pays money all day. If the market turns on you, it doesn't work. That's just the way, because the weight of the market will pull it down. I'm keeping a pretty tight stop on this. I don't really feel like losing any money. No, we don't keep Taco. The game is over. Once they buy it out, that's it. You got to get out. Take your money and go. Don't just sit on it. It's going to stay the same price. So take your money and put it to work. The buyout's over. That's it. Get your money and you go. So, I think I've got to stop around $13. Maybe I put that on 75% of the position and then the other 25% down here. I used to like to do that because sometimes, you'll get banged out because that's an obvious stop point. It'll turn right around and come back. If it does, I'll get right back in. So, but one of the ways that I used to do it, and you can decide this for yourself, there's a lot of nuances in trading. And one of the things that's not a bad idea, you can run a tight stop on half the position. So either this thing gets going my direction or I don't want to be in it. That's an option. So you'd run a tight stop. But let's say it bangs it, but holds this structural area here. Then you're down a half position. You're giving it a little bit of room. If it goes lower, you're not losing as much because you're at half position. I like doing those. Don't overcomplicate that. It's, again, not science. It's art, man. It's art. It's art. That's a weird thing. You sold Taco and bought T and MO. So you went out of a growth play into some dividend stocks. Unusual. So structurally, as long as this stage one holds, this is still a good play, but that's a $2 difference, man. I mean, if you're holding a bunch of shares, that's not good. This is a stage two breakout, but a lot of them look to be failing. So this is the only new swing trade I have going. There's not a lot of profit talking to talk about. UTSL was one. I trade this religiously. I mean, this is a triple leveraged of the XLU. It's hard to trade big cap stocks like utility stocks, Duke, Southern, unless you have a lot of money. Now, if you got Chris Johnson money, you could take 10,000 shares and you could make good money trading these high dollar stocks. But if you don't, one way around that is to find a triple leveraged ETF. And, what I'm looking for is the pattern to set up. There you go. We've been playing it. Anyway, we've creeped up. Hit the previous high, and you see where it's stalling out, right? Right where it stalled out before. So, what does that mean? That's the money flow. That's what happens. Price hits previous highs and tends to stop. I imagine it'll build a base here. So I'm down to like 75% of this position. So I took that money, and now I've got cash to what? Put to work in something else. And this is why you don't want all of your stocks to be the same sector. If you have all growth plays right now, you're going to have problems. You won't have money to roll into other things. So you need different stocks and different sectors, different types of things going on. Yeah, get rid of Taco. It's over, guys. Once they do the buyout, it's done. It'll keep trading sideways at that same price and never do anything, and then it'll just disappear. So and they'll give you the money. But once they do the buyout, it's over. Let's see. Today's market, sometimes diversification doesn't help. The markets, if the Federal Reserve on Wednesday decides to fuck with us, there is no safe stocks. You can try to play it if you're a gambler and get in the VIX and all that, this and that. That's fine. I mean, if it is, it is what it is. You're taking a bet. It might work. If it works, you'll make some money. If you don't, you'll lose. I don't like playing like that. Not for me. But, I can't speak for other people. Let's look at some of the big cap growth. Let's look at Uber. What's going on with Uber? Man, we don't need to look at OB. A lot of these stocks are... Uber's building a base. Moving averages are coming together. Looks good. Just need to wait. I'm glad it's given us time in here because you can nibble on this. You can see the money flow pattern, right? You see it? Sideways up, sideways down. Got a little wanky over here. But even when it tried to break out, what happened? It hit that previous high and just stopped. That's very bearish, by the way. To hit the previous high, turn right around, and not be able to do it is very bearish. I like Uber. Let's see. All of these probably are looking about the same. Where's PayPal? I don't really want to put any money to work till I see what the feds are going to do. I get asked about all the different ARK funds. I mean, honestly, if you look at the charts, they kind of all just roll together. I don't know, Let's see. One cool thing about the ARK funds is you really should look inside and see the stocks they own. Take the top 10 in each fund, put them into a folder, and wait for those things to set up. That's one way you could play and take advantage of their research. Let's see. I don't really consider it averaging down as just following the money flow and adding on stage ones. Let's see. Yeah, PayPal looks good, man. This is a good spot. If you're not in PayPal, that's a good spot. Let's look at Roku. I mean, technically you are averaging down, and that's what stage ones allow you to do. So if you're following the pattern, when you get a big sell-off, I'm looking for it to stop. So I can, add there. But it's more about accumulation. And obviously the net effect of that is it can bring down your price point. But here's the other side of that. Let's say it runs up and it's way above what you paid for it. And you're like, well, I don't want to buy it up there because it'll change my price point. Oh, okay. So how do you ever buy McDonald's? Because I was buying McDonald's in the 60s. McDonald's is $240 now. What am I never going to buy again? Because it went higher than what I originally paid for it. So when I was buying this at $50, you understand every stage one is a buying opportunity. That one, that one, that one, right? So do I consider that averaging up on my price point? No, I call it buying stage ones. So I don't really see it as averaging down either. I just see it buying stage ones. Let's see. Yeah, so Patrick says Sava is refusing to fall below 43. That's a good sign, man. That's a solid long base. My man Stan Weinstein, who I learned a lot from, he would look for these. And it's a triple bottom. I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff. Or reverse head and shoulders. Let's see. Which to me, all that's nonsense once you have the money flow. It's all nonsense. Let's see. Stage one, stage one, stage one. So these are your buy zones for stage one. And obviously, these are your buy zones for breakouts. Now, traders, what I used to teach predominantly was only buy the breakouts if you're a trader. And I would focus on stage ones for my buy and holds. God damn it. It just kind of makes sense if you think about it. Hold on. This thing is fucking up on me. It kind of makes sense if you sit and think about it. Let's take this out a little bit. Yep, so obviously a nice supply zone there in that $40 range. Anything above it, Salva's been holding it. Sab. I mean, I think tip ranks has $120. Sometimes tip ranks on the biotechs are crazy high. Obviously, that's factoring in if everything they're working on. What's up, Manny? If everything they're working on works, what's up, Matt? Then yeah, they're going to get that price. But in the meantime, we got the Federal Reserve, we got this, we got that. Let's look at Square. I like Salva here. This is a good price. It's a good company. Very volatile. Be careful. Wow. Man, this Square one really does surprise me. It's got the, the Bitcoin issue with it too now. I really wish, I don't know. I wish crypto could deconnect from stocks and it would be its own class. I really do. TipRank updates price targets in real time as the analysts update theirs. So TipRanks is doing an average of the analysts that cover the stock. So, analysts don't update every day. I mean, they usually update every quarter as earnings come out and stuff like that. Yeah, it blows my mind too that Square's this cheap. I don't know. Maybe there's some fear that DeFi is going to take business from them, but some of these guys are smart. They're going to get in on that stuff too, or they're just, I don't know. Let's see. My man said OBSV. Ain't nothing to see, bro. Tempted stage 2, back down, just like all the other biotechs, man. One way to play all those payments is like iPay. iPay is an ETF that owns Square, PayPal, all of those. So rather than trying to pick between Square, PayPal, Visa, MasterCard, you could just buy iPay, and that has all the top players in it. And if you notice, the chart is basically the same. So if we put in PayPal, it's the same chart. If we put in, let me see, is Visa the same? No, Visa is stronger. So, CLF is setting up. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're trading this trading range, it just bounces from 20 to 25. So I guess you could catch that run. That's what you're trying to do. ET looked good when I looked at it yesterday. Let's see. I mean, these are dividend plays, obviously not trading stocks, unless you have a lot of money. Yeah, ET 8% dividend yield. It's basing. It's under the 200. We got a nice little base going here, and if you see, we got the the right side of the pattern, right? So we had a little stage 3, stage 4 decline. Now we appear to be building a box for a stage 1, and it's below the 200, and it's a dividend payer. Those are no-brainers to me if you got the money. What is your least favorite sector right now? Pretty much all of them. Bought some Uber this morning. Crazy. What is your, let's see, added to Mark. Yeah, so, I mean, kind of boring. I've been building a nice position in Zynga as a swing trade. The stock is ridiculously cheap. It's not dropping. But until the market turns, I mean, these stocks are not going up. Now the S&P looks like it's coming down. PLTR looked good today. SPWR. Let's see. Whew. Sun Power Corp. Look at these. God bless. Down 10% today. I mean, you're coming into a supply zone here, right? This is where it stopped before. I wouldn't touch this, man. I'd let this thing play out. Make sure you get a few more days here. If I'm holding stocks in the red, should I sell them or buy more? You left off the other option there, Casanova, of doing nothing. Why do you feel like you have to do anything at all? So ask yourself that. Why am I doing something? Why am I selling them? Why am I buying them? The third option is to do nothing. And sometimes doing nothing is the best option. I mean, maybe you've done enough to fuck it up for one year. Maybe you did enough this year to fuck up stocks this year that maybe the best thing for you to do is stop doing shit and just sit there and just watch them. For a lot of people, that's what I would recommend. You know, there's an urgency to do something every day. Sometimes doing nothing is the best thing to do. Just watch it. Just watch, see how it plays out. It's not like you can lift the market. Nobody, it's not like they're like, oh, hey, Gerald's here. Let's trade stocks now. It doesn't, you don't have just two options. You have three options. There's sell something, buy something, do nothing. Those are definitely options. And so when in doubt, just watch. And not knowing the stocks you're in, it's hard for somebody to make that call. I'm not selling anything right now. I mean, anything I've wrote down, I already wrote it down. So FOMO has trapped me a couple times, worth waiting and done extra research. Yeah, for sure. And also, I talked about this a little bit on Spaces yesterday. It's kind of like knowing why you're buying something. Get real clear. I mean, if you're swing trading a weekly option, then you know how that plays out, right? If you're buying and holding, then do that. If you're swing trading, then do that. Like, just get real clear, and then your decisions are made for you. So if you're like, I don't know what I should do with this, then you didn't know when you bought it. I mean, and so, it exposes us, man. It really does. The market exposes us, our weaknesses. Third option has always worked for me. Yeah. Let's see. Mark setting up. It's weird how these biotechs have gotten out of whack with each other. So I'm in Merck here. This is a beautiful setup. Not much below the 200, but if you notice, whenever it gets below the 200, it tends to run. This is a quality company. Yeah, this is stage 1 buy, so I like this. Yesterday was actually your buy point. I'm already in it. I didn't really have the money to add to it, so happy to see it heading up. But that's your buy point right there. You hear me talk about is put in a base. There's 4 bars. They're starting to go sideways. It stopped at a previous low. We're on the RSI. Like, everything is lined up. So this is what I'm looking for. And obviously, none of this is foolproof. That tells me the downside momentum ended. So if you're looking at, let's look at that MACD for just a second here. Why didn't it stay out further? If we were to put a line right when the MACD ticked the other way, it's about right in there. And what I mean by is this is just telling you momentum. And if it's pointing down, the momentum's to the downside. If it starts to go sideways, that means basically the momentum is losing steam. And then when it turns and starts to go this way, that tells you momentum going down is over. If you get price continuing down, but the MACD starts to turn up, that's called divergence, right? And that's something you should be aware of. And once this starts to tick this way, what I'm really looking for is a solid box. So I need, several days sideways. And then if it's me, what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to get above that red line. And then I'm looking, is there support here? Has it stopped here before? Yes. So tick, tick, check, 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 check. So I'm checking off all these component parts of the money flow. If I get there and there's only one, price came down, appears to have stopped, but the MACD's not turned, stochastic isn't going sideways or looking to break out. None of that's happening. Then I should do nothing. I should just wait. And yeah, and we see yesterday was your buy day. Today you're up nice. And these are the kinds that I like to play options on. I don't talk a lot about options, but the kind that I like to play are no-brainers. Blue cap stocks, big blue chip stocks that sell off, fall under this 200, set up in a nice pattern. I'll nibble on some options because it's hard to buy a lot of shares for a swing trade. So for me, options aren't every trade. They're trades when they make sense. You know, it's just when they make sense. Like, it's hard to buy 100 shares of Merck. I mean, it's fucking $7,300. Well, for $500, I can buy a pretty nice option position, right? And if I'm going to buy the equivalent in shares as a pure swing trade, what would my stop loss be? Well, on however many shares, maybe my stop loss is $500. Well, fuck, we could just buy an option, let it go to zero. There you go, $500. Stop's the stop. I'm gonna lose $500 either way. So that's kind of how I always gauge options. Is I'm using it as either a bump, or I'm adding juice to the trade. You know, like I'm buying some shares and a few options, or I'm doing it in lieu of holding the shares. You know. Let's see. We probably should focus on work, bro. Let's see. That's how I use options. The reason I don't teach them and get too down in the weeds on them is then, you know, what month are you buying? What strike price are you buying? And it gets a little more detailed than just buying shares, man. And it's hard for me to assimilate or to get out that information constantly to a lot of people, on top of putting out content, on top of doing podcasts, on top of updating the news. Like, it's hard to do all that, man. So I don't feel like I can give it in the right manner. So that's why I don't talk much about it. I'm going to start sending you my options trade, GP. We can run these bags up together. Yeah, you do that. Feel free, sir. Text them to me, though, on my phone. Don't DM to me. It takes me a minute to get to DMs, but I always check my phone. Let's see. Let's see. Everybody thinks I'm a cuss them out. I only cuss people out for doing dumb things. If you're not doing dumb things, then don't worry about it. Let's see. Learn to trade stocks before you start buying options, says Michael, for sure. It's GP time. Apologies for being tardy. Just tell your wife, hey, shh, wait, we're on live. Let's see. Still holding DraftKings. Just seeing if anybody's got any NRDS. NRDS. Ooh. Nerd Wallet. Okay, this is interesting. This is the time you want to look at some IPOs, right? So it IPO'd. It's been out a while. We've got all our moving averages. That's good, right? We got our moving averages. We got the histogram. Not quite. So I might drop to watch what happens when we drop to a 4-hour chart here. We start getting all our indicators, right? Because this is an IPO. What I usually tend to do, if an IPO comes out, I usually drop to the 1-hour chart. Because the 1-hour chart's going to give me all of the indicators. And, you know, I'll yell at people, don't buy IPOs, don't buy IPOs. Sometimes, you know, every once in a while an IPO works and it runs up and everybody makes a bunch of money. And that's why they're addicted to IPOs. Like 90-something% of IPOs do not go up. Like, they come out, little fanfare, and then they go straight down. To include Google, Microsoft, Facebook. Facebook came out $38-something, ends up falling to $18. Snapchat. I mean, I just go one after another. And if you just wait, you can get it cheaper. Airbnb. There's no reason to chase an IPO. But if you just really like the company, put it on a 1-hour chart. And then as soon as you get all your indicators, you can start following it. So on a 1-hour chart, if we're looking at Nerd here, I call it Nerd. Was it NRDS? Stage 1, Stage 2, Stage 3, Stage 1. So yeah, you're building a base, right? Yeah, I might nibble here. And that's on a 1-hour chart, though, okay? If we take this to a daily, it doesn't quite look this good. But I like it. So a lot of when I was purely swing trading a lot of my swing trades would take place on a 1 hour chart. I'd find the pattern on the daily, find my direction on the daily, and then I'd look for the 1 hour for the breakout. So even on a daily, if you look, like we're at support, so it's holding. So then I would drop down to a 1 hour hoping to catch the breakout. Or even lower. I mean, you could go lower, but obviously the lower your time frame, the harder it can get. Let's see. How do I like Ford right now? I've been in Ford for a while, so I'm just riding it. I'm just riding it here. I don't think I'd run up into Ford here. If the market pulls back, the S&P is looking weak today. If it pulls back lower, Ford's coming down. Let's see. Hey, Gerald, what's your time frame do you use on BTC since it runs 24 hours? I went around and around about this, trying to go on an earlier time frame. I don't think it's effective because you can't actually do it every day. Meaning Saturday morning at 3 in the morning when the 1 hour or the 4 hour chart breaks out, you're not going to be able to catch it. So why use a time frame you can't actually watch 7 days a week? So, like you could take Bitcoin down to a 4 hour and it kind of makes sense, right? It makes sense because it trades 24 hours a day. Stock market's open basically 6 hours. So Bitcoin trades at dog years, right? It's 4 times the year. So even though it's only been around 13 years, it's been trading like it's been around 45 years based on hours. If we were to calculate the hours, a lot of people don't understand that. I don't see any need to, unless you're swing trading it, to do that. You can do just fine on the daily. I mean, look over here. If you caught this, here's a stage 1, and then it just ran. So I'm on a daily that's what I've decided to do. If I was swing trading these tight, like right here, I'd say, okay, I'm trying to catch a breakout. Maybe I drop to a 1 hour chart on Bitcoin. And what am I looking for? Price to push above this 20. So if I'm buying a stage 1 on the daily and I'm looking at the money flow pattern and I want to drop it, I want to trade this on a 1 hour, I want to trade it, right? Here's the pattern. Now what am I expecting? That this is putting in a base. Now if this breaks, this is off. But let's say right now we're trading that the MACD is going up. We're looking for Bitcoin to hold and break out. So as a swing trader, I would drop to the 1 hour chart, waiting for that confirmation. And I'd say you have it right now. Plus it gives you, as a swing trader, you could tighten up your stop losses, right? Put it around this 46,250 range. So what is that? A $750 risk. $750 risk. Interesting. But again, I'm not able to sit at my computer every hour on the hour watching that. Days that I do, I will drop down sometimes and watch them waiting for a breakout. I know Ashton does that a lot. A lot of people call it a triple screen. Like Dr. Elder used to teach that. Get your direction on the daily, drop down to the 1 hour, and then drop down even lower. And you'd have 3 time frames that you're looking at. So you're waiting for the hourly to line up with the daily, and then you're catching the breakout on the lower one. But to me, 3 is too many. 2 is totally sufficient. What's up, GP? What's your thoughts on Apple? Do you think it's going more to the downside? Love your trading. Yeah, Apple's off limits, man. If you own it, just let it roll. I mean, it's a runaway trend. So, sometimes when I show people the money flow, their instinct is to say, well, it's too high. It's got to turn. And then it goes higher. And you say, well, it's too high. It's got to turn. And then it goes higher. And all you got to do is go look at a Tesla or something like that. So for me, I'm not trying to play the short side on this. If I was, again, same thing. We got a pattern here. I would drop down to the 1 hour. Probably should have been on it yesterday, but on the 1 hour, what am I looking for? The stage 4 breakdown, which was right there. So you'd have got short 3 hours ago, which I guess was into the close right here. Where would I be looking to cover this short? Well, where price was before. Now, if you're trying to play both sides of that, you really should have some trading experience, because it really will fuck with your mind. And it's hard for me to get too much on the short side because I'm very much optimistic. I like being optimistic. I like buying deep value. I just don't like short trading. I'm not against it by any meaning. It's just not my natural flow. And there are obvious stocks sometimes I'm like, man, that's a good short. Is Apple a good short in my opinion? No, that's a terrible idea. This is one of the strongest stocks in the stock market. The last thing you want to try to do is short the strongest stock. All you have to do is go look at Tesla and the careers that it ended to see that that is a terrible idea. You don't take the stock that the whole world loves that's just going higher and higher and higher and try to short it. That's really crazy. You want to take shitty stocks that everyone hates because they're terrible companies, and you want to short those stocks. Plus, it's in a bull market. I mean, it's just not a good setup for a short. So, not to saying that you were, I'm just anybody that's listening. Don't look to short things that just because they went high. That's a stupid reason. You would look to short things because fundamentally these are shitty businesses. If you just do it on charts, you're going to get smashed, like trying to play the short side. And there are people that do. I get that. But you really got to be sitting there. Let's see. Whoa. Sorry about that. Still waiting on this new thing I ordered, and so I'm using my old one here. What is shorting? Come on, man. Better Google that shit, son. GP, that chart you drop down to setting up entry points on crypto daily for our apologies if you already answered this, show up late to live. No, I was just saying, if you're swing trading Bitcoin, I could see dropping down to say a 1 hour or a 4 hour chart. My problem with doing that consistently is on Saturday morning, I can't watch a 1 hour chart, So I like to make sure that I can actually stay with what I'm doing, What the fuck just happened? Let's see. So if you are short-term trading, that is a great way to do it. Basic grammar is hard to come by around here. Well, people are on phones, bro. Give them a little break. I know this guy who shorts the huge run-ups in small caps every day. That's all he does, and he runs up big bag and has more heart than me, that's for sure. Let me guess. Tim Sykes? Let's see. Yeah. But he's doing small caps, so that makes a lot of sense. You wouldn't do that with an Apple. And yeah, if that's your style, then trade it. Let's see. It's just not my style. I don't like sitting around looking for shitty businesses. Like, that's just not something that I want to do. I don't do roofing. I like real estate, but I don't do roofing. I could save a lot of money if I did my own roofing, but I don't like doing it. I don't like being on a roof. I don't like climbing up and down the ladder, getting on the roof. I don't like standing in the heat when it's on it. Like, it's just not something I like doing, so I outsource it. I don't like looking for shitty companies to short. Let's see. Thoughts on adding to BA long-term portfolio. Is DraftKings on the move finally? DKNG. Let's see. No, sir. That is not on the move. What are you talking about? Thoughts on BA. That is not on the move at all. We must have different definitions of on the move. Yeah, you could add to Boeing. This has just been a long, shitty drama, though. But if you're patient, let's see. Let's see. There are definitely 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Fed talks tomorrow, I believe. Now, just a tip. If you catch yourself playing Fed announcements and you're like, man, I'm going to buy it, just understand you probably should call that 800 number they have for gamblers, because you've lost your fucking mind. Now you're just literally putting bets on up or down. To me, that's crazy behavior. It's how you go broke. I get it. It can be fun. I'm not saying that. But at some point, you got to take trading serious, man. Like, at some point, you got to take it serious, man. At some point. Like, I don't know when that point is for you. But if you do a lot of fuckery and playing around, then that's subconsciously what you're telling the universe you think of it. It's just fuckery and play around for me. I'm not really a professional. I'm just fucking around. Now, are there professional ways to play that? Sure. There's various things. You could do spreads with options. There's all kinds of that kind of stuff you can do. Most people shouldn't be doing it. What other books apart from Weinstein or Elders do you in your own books? I like how you listed me last, sir. Gain them up. There's a book called The Trading Book by a chick named Ann Bernard. That's a really good book. She trades a very similar strategy to the money flow, but it's a little more short term. And it's called The Trading Book. And it's by a chick named Ann Bernard and something. First female trading book I ever read that I thought was really good. And she takes you through long trades and short trades. Where I use the RSI, she uses Bollinger Bands. They do about the same thing. So let's put Bollinger Bands on here. You'll see what I'm saying. Bollinger Bands do about the same thing. Whenever price breaks under the Bollinger Band, they would say that's an extreme price. You'll see the RSI goes extreme the same time. Whenever price breaks above the bands, they'll say that's an extreme. Well, if you ever notice, the RSI tends to do that at the same time. Yeah, Ann Bernard, something like that. It's called The Trading Book. The Trading Book. Yep, Anne-Marie Bernard, I think it is. The Trading Book. That's a good one. That's a really good book. And then Technical Analysis and Multiple Time Frames. It's more of a day trader book, but a lot of the way I teach from moving averages I got from Brian Shanahan. That it's not so much about the crossover as the alignment of the moving averages. Like if you're just looking at this, these are just pointing straight down. Literally straight down. So Brian's book is very expensive though. It's like $80. Should I sell for loss for tax purposes or buy back next year? That's not a simple question. I mean, have you even run your taxes to see if it would help you? You can only deduct $3,000 in losses from your tax return. So if you lost $50,000 in the stock market, you only get to deduct $3,000. You got to carry over to, so then that leaves you with $47,000 in losses. Then the next year you can deduct $3,000, and that means you can carry over $44,000 in losses. So, unless, the only time tax harvesting makes any sense at all is this: if you have a bunch of gains. If you don't have a bunch of gains, it doesn't make any sense. You can only carry over $3,000 in losses. So, now, you can deduct more than that against a winner. So let's say you won $10,000 in this trade, and you went and sold $10,000 in a loss, well, then they would wipe each other out. But you can only go to the negative of $3,000, and then it's carried over. My friend, I'm almost positive on that. My friend and CPA, Matt, if you guys check my story, he's doing a tax seminar tonight, and tax webinar, I guess you would call it, which can be boring, but it's super beneficial. Most people could make a lot of money just understanding how to do their taxes better. And all you guys going to H&R Block and just handing it to some retard there is fucking stupid, man. And I see people doing that all the time. They work at Walmart, drive a truck, and they head over to H&R Block and give their tax return to some dipshit who knows nothing about taxes. Those people are not CPAs. Dude, what they're doing for you, you could do with TurboTax. It's fucking ridiculous. They don't know shit about taxes, man. Not real taxes, not saving you money. They're not going to sit down and go, oh, by the way, if you would open an IRA or if you would do this or move your money here or structure this, you could actually lower your tax burden for the rest of your life. They're not going to show you that stuff, man. They're just going to take your W-2 and then sit there and type some shit in and then give you your stupid return, like that's probably deducted nothing. I'm telling you, man, those places like that you would do so much better to buy a book on Amazon or sit in my friend's seminar and then get on TurboTax and take your time and spend about 2 weeks, an hour or two a day working on your return, and you would probably come out way better than hiring someone. I'm talking about generic places. I'm not talking about high-end CPAs and wealth management firms. That's a different conversation. But I'm talking about what I see average people doing every tax year. God forbid you use the one at Walmart. Jesus. Holy Jesus. I just want to grab those people and punch them. Are you fucking stupid? Get out of here with your W-2. You're at Walmart, dude. Like they do this at Walmart, man. Like they have tax. And it's like, what are you doing? But anyway, I digress. That's people trying to get a fast return. And then even worse, you pay them to get your return quicker? Are you out of your fucking mind? Like, that is not how you live your life, man. That is broke people shit, right? Nobody rich is doing that. You don't do that rapid return. That is all consumerism set up to steal your money, man. It's terrible. It pisses me off, man. I just want to stand out there with a bullhorn. Why are you going in there, sir? Let's see. I don't know why anybody would ever do that. I can't imagine going to Walmart to do my taxes. You're correct, GP, on the 3K. So anybody doing that, stop. Stop doing it. Get your shit together. You're correct on that, GP. Yeah, it's 3K. Ben knows he's an accountant. CPA. So unless you had big wins, it really does you no good to sell to harvest losses, Unless again, you have big wins, then it would make sense. So just my thought on that. Let's see. On chapter 3, you don't have to die broke. Enjoying the book. I like the concept of the buckets. Yes, the buckets are super important. Let's see. I see it. You're in Florida. Now that's my thing. Whenever I see someone with a beach pin, I'm like, hey, where's that beach at? Just curious. Do you do your own taxes? I personally do my own. I'm not necessarily saying that's the way you should go. I'm a little superstitious. I've been doing on my own since the beginning, and so I just kind of stay with it. Yeah, Uber's a buy. But when you have rental properties, they're going to fall to a Schedule E. If you have a side business or a hustle, you're going to have a Schedule C, right? If you've got IRAs, if you've got K1s, if you're invested in MLPs or REITs, or some of these things throw off K1s. Like I have a partnership, they give me a K1. I have an LLC, it gives me a K1, right? And so I end up doing 3 returns a year plus quarterlies plus state taxes. And so it's just become part of my life is doing that. But I could outsource it, I guess. But I kind of like doing it too because it lets me see what's up, man. People just take a big box of papers, drop it off at their guy. They really don't. They're not really on the concept of how could I use taxes to increase my income. People call them loopholes. They're not loopholes. They're there for purposes. They want you to do them. When people were saying that Donald Trump's using loopholes. No, dummy. They're in the law because they want you to use them. The government wants you to use loopholes. That's why they put them there. Because they want that money to go into that area. So they will give you crazy tax breaks to do certain things. That's not a loophole. That's how they get money to go into those things, man. But I digress. Mr. 428. My man. I bet he's got some tax problems. What's up, bro? Is your friend's seminar live stream only? No, I don't know if Matt's still on here. I believe it's being recorded. I'm almost positive on that. I hope it is. I'm going to do it, but I doubt I can watch it live because I got some things going on. He said, don't even ask. But yeah, I think he's only charging $17. And I put it on my story so you can link to it. He knows, I talk to him a lot, so he knows what he's talking about. Especially if you run a business or have a side hustle or just have questions about taxes inside of trading, they're going to cover that too. So good stuff. Yeah, it's on Zoom, so he'll be recording it. So if you sign up for it, I'm sure he'll send you the replay. Let's see. Yeah. Now, when your taxes get overly complicated, like my man Blake here, his taxes probably get complicated. So all of a sudden, you got like 17 properties hitting your return, right? And you got to do worksheets on all of them. And then if you might have incorporation taxes and franchise tax, like it can get complicated. You're definitely going to want help in a situation like that. Or you're a high net worth person, you need help. There's things available to you, but you work it. You're a truck driver, you drive for Uber. Man, a lot of that, couple books and a good class, and you could probably do wonders. But even then, you might use a CPA. They might help you. Let's see. But I would still be the one organize it and getting it together and try to be ahead of them so they don't have to ask you for anything. If they don't have to ask you for anything, that's good. What's up, man? Oh, my man said, thoughts on Square. We were just talking about Square, but it looks terrible. Let's see. I mean, it literally broke the low there. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm kind of just waiting. PayPal looks better than Square. And if we look at iPay, which is the ETF that has all of these in it, it looks a little better than Square. Square looks weak. I don't know. I'm in it. So I haven't added yet. I've added to PayPal a couple times. I've added to DraftKings a little early, but no, nothing good to say about Square yet, other than it's cheap. And broke that box, man. Broke that box, which is not cool. What's your best add to your Dividend account? Right? That's my philosophy. Usually what everyone else thinks is wrong, usually. I'm trying to think of the newest Dividend ad. I mean, if it's purely dividends here, I like ET. It's below the 200. It's in the oil sector. It's come down pretty good. Will the tax seminar help with drivers? I think so. You're self-employed. I mean, I don't know how you're doing your taxes now. I can't see why it wouldn't. I'm trying to think of another good dividend play this low here. Oh, Philip Morris is one recently that I added. It's on a stage 2 breakout now. So this is one where and this will go to this. You guys have heard me talk about the bread and butter. It's where the money flow kicks in below the 200. So you get these solid dividend stocks. Once they break the 200, this is a no-brainer. Like they rarely, as long as the dividend's got to be safe, all right? Can't be in a company that has some structural dysfunction. So started buying on this. It's now attempting to break out. I think tip ranks them have $102, $103. I like Philip Morris. It's already on the move. I'm in T. I don't like T though. That thing is traded fucking horrific most of my adult life, it seems like. keep hoping they'll fix that, but it just keeps going lower and lower. Let's look at Walmart. I saw Kramer was selling Walmart, which is stupid. It's breaking out right now. He was selling Walmart. Now watch Walmart. This is crazy. Again, another one. I told you, if you got big money and you want an easy way to trade, just watch these big dividend stocks. And when they fall under that yellow line, it's almost with certainty that it comes back to the yellow line. I've always said if I ever ran a hedge fund, this is all I would do. I would just sit around with shit tons of money waiting for big cap blue stocks, blue chip stocks to fall under the 200, to have a solid dividend. Then I would just buy the hell out of them and I would sell it when it hits the 200. Buy the hell out of them, sell it when it hits the 200. And I would just scan all day looking for them. And, you could let them run too, I guess. But look at this. Look how this pattern is played out on stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 1 or 4, stage 1, 2. I mean, it's just played out perfect. Let's see. Yes, I reinvest my dividends back into T, which has made it profitable, believe it or not, but not a good stuff. I'm in it though. Keep hoping they'll get their shit together. Let's see. Let's look at MO. Now we're looking at dividend stocks. What's up with the dividend stocks? Why are you guys all picking on Lindsay? Let's see. Why are they picking on you? Stage 2. Now here's the crazy thing. Kramer was selling Walmart to buy Chevron. All right, that's weird, but okay. Let's see. I put in a few buy trades in Walmart back at 136. I'm up. Stop loss are now set well in profit. Well, congratulations. Congratulations. What's up, Ace? A, G, and C. Yeah, this is a no-brainer, man. So, I'm a fan of the Dogs of the Dow. That list is going to be updating. It's basically the same list as last year. Yep, down we go. Now, if the Feds say the wrong thing, these REITs are going downtown. These REITs are going downtown. Thoughts on Roku? Same as Square, PayPal, Lyft, DraftKings. It's in the same place, man. Let's see. Uber's still my all-time favorite trade. I hate emphasizing that because every once in a while I get someone that goes just fucking ridiculously all in on it. And when I say this is my favorite trade, I'm not all in on it. Like, it's just, I may have a larger than normal position, which I do. I have about 30 grand in Uber. So that's a larger trade size than I normally do because I take a lot of trades. But I really do believe it's going higher. But would I put all of my money into it? No. Do I swing trade options from time to time? Yes, sir. Yes, only when it's obvious and makes sense. Walmart would have been a good swing trade one. Or an options play. When you get a blue chip, falls down, starts to go sideways, that's a good options play for me. These options are highly volatile. Highly liquid. You can get in easy. You can move up. You're not going to get waxed. You're not going to wake up and Walmart's down 50%. That's not going to happen. You're also not going to make a fortune. But it's hard to get 1,000 shares of Walmart when it's trading at $144. But you could do that. You could get that same effect with options, right? We looked at Merck earlier. I was talking about this is a great option setup. Yesterday would have been my buy day. Still a buy now for shares. Again, blue chip fell under the green or the yellow here. $84 target. Where's BMY? Ooh. Again, look. Now, if you do this, what I talk about, what I call the bread and butter, what you're looking for is not to buy the moment it goes under the 200. What you're looking for are these stage ones. I would buy that one. There's no stops in this either. I would buy that one because the lower it goes, the more that I like it. Because the point is, it's a blue chip that can maintain their dividend. So it requires a little fundamental research before you step out and do this. And then I would have bought here. So bought here, here, and here. Now about here, people are like, hey, fuck this guy. But I'm telling you, this will go to $62. I mean, I'm telling you, like, it's amazing how often this happens. And it'll get there, and it gave you a chance here, here, and here to build your position. And you probably collected a dividend or two. And so as a buy and holder, these are the zones that I would have wanted to add shares, right? So if I have that knowledge and I'm a trader, then I could swing trade these things too in a different account, you know. Just stuff, just ideas, man. The new book I've been working on kind of riffs on this stuff. What's up, Anthony? What's up, man? What do you look for to determine if something is in a stage 2? The green days in a row. No, Carson, you better buy my book, man. I'm a fucking come to your house. Oh. We're looking for a breakout above that green line. So what I'm looking at is this pattern right here. And so there's 6 things that I'm looking at, 6 indicators, and price to drop, start to go sideways. But the breakout is price leaving that stage 1 and closing above that 20-day moving average. And all that's in my newsletter if you go look. So Gush is weighing on my mind. I'm underwater in this. Tried to play it over here, pulled back. We're waiting. It's too close to the 200 for me to cut this trade. It's too close for me to cut it. If this breaks, then I got to cut it. But what do you look for in determining if some... Okay, we already looked at that. I thought we looked at CHPT, didn't we? So I'm in oil. It's... Oh, the other reason, if you look at this is a double leveraged. But if you look at the XLE, which is what you should be looking at, not the leveraged fund, it doesn't look as bad. The leverage throws these things off. Does that make sense? That the leverage on the way down is going at 2 to 3 times. On the way up, it's going at 2 to 3 times. So this XLE, this Gus thing is the same thing. So if you look, it's down 2.5%. Well, what is XLE? I mean, it's almost even. So obviously, you know, it's not a direct correlation. As today, it's not. And I'm sure there's reasons for that. But so XLE's fine. Exxon's fine. Chevron's fine. I'm not cutting Gush. That's just, you know, using some common sense. Let's see. Is Hood? I heard Hood was looking bad, man. What the hell, dude? Yeah, I'm in this. I haven't cut it. I like the product. I should have cut it, but I didn't. Why is this at $16? Is there or $18? Is there bad news on this today? Lucky77 said, GP, how many charts do you look at on a daily basis? A lot. But the way that I look at them is probably different than the way other people look at them. Let's see. Like, I'll look at them like this. And I know immediately, as soon as I see it, you know, that's stage 1 holding support. Like, I'm just going down the list. I don't need to sit and fucking, you know, I've been doing it long enough. I know what I'm doing. So most of the time when I'm looking at the big stuff, like where's Bitcoin? Once I know where Bitcoin is, I know where all the other cryptos are, right? One, you know, except for a few maybe breaking out here and there, but on Hood, I don't know, man. I'm just waiting for it to stop dropping. who's? I don't think. So we'll see. I like Hood. I just don't. I don't know why it keeps dropping. Obviously, there's bad news. I'm down 40% Hood. You'll be all right, man. You just got to trade your way out of it. All right, we'll look at this CHPT. I've traded my way out of many losers. I like the pattern, bro. Sideways up, sideways down. So see, first thing I see when I see this is like, oh, wow, there's the money flow. Oh, wow, there's the money flow. So, okay, that makes me, oh, look, it's below the 200. Very common. Must be a growth stock. So I go, look, Charger Point Holdings. Yeah, that's probably a growth play. I'm assuming they have something to do with batteries and shit, right? So then I go look to see that. Then I'm looking for my boxes. It's still drifting lower. There may be a box here. More likely it's coming down to right into here. So first thing I do is present. I look, is it going up or down? And it looks to be going down. So I look to see where else could it go? And it's like, well, it could easily come here. It was there before, right? All right. So if this doesn't hold, I assume it's going there. So I would not get aggressive at buying this. It's going down. And look, the RSI is not even extreme, which means it could go even lower. So, I wouldn't buy here. I would wait. If this builds out and this gets above that red line, but notice they're not even turning yet. They're all pointing straight down. The moving averages have not turned at all. They're pointing straight down. Nothing happens until they come together, right? Like they've got to go sideways. This last move started when they stopped dropping, built the box, and then went sideways, and then you had a run up. That is not happening yet, so we shall see. Keep it on your radar. I don't know what it's worth. Buffett's number one rule. Well, that Buffett's number one rule is taken out of context. Owning something that goes down does not mean you lost money. You only lose money when you close it out. And Buffett doesn't close his stocks out during a stock market crash. He does not do that. Let's see. Thoughts on putting a company in the buy and hold or swing play? Obviously, some are no-brainers, holds, but some stocks fall in between. Yeah, just use common sense on that. I've got some penny stocks in my buy and hold. Let's see. Now, I don't like when you guys say average down. That tells me you don't understand the money flow. I don't average down. I buy stage ones. No, you got wrecked in this one. Damn. Dropped 40%. That's these biotechs, man. This is how they move. I would not sell this. And no, I would not buy this. You should buy my book, is what you should do. You obviously don't own it. Just based on that question. Because it fell 10% or more. I would do nothing. There's nothing to do. You don't know, you got to go read why it did it. You need to understand why did it drop this much? Is it fixable? I'm assuming one of their drugs didn't make it. Go see what the analysts say. Give it a few days to settle in, and then see what's the play. On top of it's a bad time right now in these stocks. They're just terrible. My book, man. Fuck book you think I'm talking about? Let's see. Oof. My man says, should I cut my square position? I'm down 40% on my contracts expire in March. This is the problem with options. When I do options plays, I write them to zero. The option is the built-in stop, meaning I buy enough options that if I was buying the equivalent shares and my stop was about $400, then I'm looking to buy about that much in. That's what I would lose in options. It's usually how I'm trying to do it. I need it to make sense. I don't sell options once I put them on, but that's just me, man. Like I'm no option expert, but let's see. Your book will be my 2022 read. See, that tells me, bro, you're gonna wait that fucking long? I could write a book by the time you read it. God damn. I think I'll wait till next year, next month, when my girlfriend says it's okay and we get to take some breaks from work and no one's bothered and everything. Like, well, I'll read it then, Gerald. I'll read it when we get to take a 4-day vacation and I'm at the thing and then I can read it. I'll read it then, Gerald. But I'm really serious. I really, really am serious about trading. In like 5 weeks, I'll read it in between babysitting and my wife giving me a list of shit to do. I'll read it in between that. That's what you should do, sir. Read it in 5 fucking weeks. Why get it tonight and read it today? Why do that when you could read it in 5 weeks? Do that. Let's see. Crazy talk, man. He was going to give me a heart attack. How do you trade out of a trade, and when do you decide to do it? That's a good question, actually. That'd be a good video. That would be a good video. Let's see. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think in 9 weeks, I'm going to get a book on Airbnb. What are your thoughts? That'd be a good video. When and know how to trade out of a trade. Prices of fertilizers going up. Do you think it's a good time? I hate these fertilizer stocks, man. They're like the uranium stocks and the water stocks, but this one has the Mosaic is of the better ones. Beautiful pattern though, man. Look at that. As I'm talking shit about it, it's one of the better patterns that we've seen. I apologize, sir. Good stock. Yeah. Let's see. Although I do like when people send me pictures and they're reading I had someone today sent me a picture reading the book at the beach. I always like that. I'm teasing, man. Don't get mad. Don't pee yourself. It's all right. I'm just playing. I like this $42 target. This is great. If he's got a fundamental thesis. He thinks fertilizer are going higher. Fertilizer prices. I don't know why, but he thinks that. I mean, I don't know to know why. So he very well could be right. We have a solid target zone. So remember, when you're doing these zones, this is art, not science. So it's like in this area is your target, right? That's likely going to hit the RSI anyway. We got a stage 1. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. These are the kind, I really like these options trades that are in this $30 range. And, if I went and looked and these were relatively cheap, this would be type of stock I would look at running. This is a blue chip stock, multi-billion dollars. It's pushing above this 20. You could get a lot more weight in options than you could buying shares. And that would be one that I might look at. But I like this. This is a good setup, man. What does Tip Ranks have on this? Before we leave, this might be a good trade. Let's see. What does Tip Ranks have on it? Remember, analysts are just, what did I put in? One part of by the way, on MO, 16% upside, has a 9 rating on MO. So, jeez, MOS, fat fingers. Let's see. All right, $46, right? Now, what was our target? $42. That's a go. The true value of the stock is higher than the money flow target. There you go. Perfect swing trade. It's exactly what I'm looking for. Read, what a beautiful stock. I don't know anything about fertilizer prices as I say that, though. But I like how he did that. See, you take a fundamental belief and you go, this, if this happens, this will happen. And then you go to the chart and you assume if it starts to happen, it's going to happen on the chart first. And then boom, 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 boom. I mean, I've done many plays like that. I've done many plays like this where fundamentally this just makes sense to me. And then I go pull the chart up. A lot of times this happens to me when I'm drunk. If I'm out drinking, or I don't know why it happens when I'm drinking. It just tends to happen a lot when I'm drinking. And I'll be sitting there and you know how you kind of, when you're drinking and you're kind of in your own head and people are talking all around you, and I just happen to look over and the thing that I happen to see is publicly traded. And I go, huh, as I often do, and look at my phone and I pull the chart out and I go, whoa. And it's like this. And then you get on tip ranks and now you're ignoring the people you're with as you set up this possible swing trade. And then I'm telling you, I've had so many come to me like that. Just total randomness like that, man. Will you be saving this live? Probably not. Let's see. I don't really use these. I don't save too many of them. I have so many saved. The one on YouTube will be saved. GP for a beginner new position trader. What position size do you recommend to start with? Thanks. I love what you do. I don't know how much money you have. You know, if you're on you need 10 trades going. That's just my number. If you're new, I think you can handle 10. If you're trading like I trade. Now, if you're day trading, that's obviously a different conversation. But if you're swing trading or position trading like I do, especially if you're position trading. For position trading, you can have 20 or 30. I mean, you can just keep as much as you can do if your mind can handle it. But if you're new, $500 to $1,000. The goal in the beginning isn't to make money. The goal is to prove that you can trade. There's a lot of people that wish they had a lot smaller positions right now because they're down 30, 40%. They're like, fuck, dude, I should have just bought $1,000. Yep. And you wouldn't be all freaked out. And you know you're freaked out when your position size is too big. If you're freaked out, that's it. Your position size is too big. You do not have the mental capacity to handle the position size you took on if it freaks you out. No one stock should hurt you. You should be able to wake up tomorrow and one of your stocks went to zero and you're good. All right, well, that sucks. But you're still fine. You can still trade. You're still in business, you know. So make them small if you're starting out. I used to talk about $500 trades, which would mean you'd buy, 15 shares? And then you'd set a target here for, your target right here would be to sell 5 of those shares, let the other 10 run. And what you're doing is putting in reps. Well, to keep us from getting bored, we're going to need 10, 15 of those. Yeah, man. Come trade with me and do that. Stay with me for a year. Now, chances of you staying with me for a year are pretty slim. But if you had the ability to do that, that way we go through some ups and downs, through some Fed rate hikes and some business cycle. Like, we need time to ride the ups and downs, man. Let's see. Yeah, if you can't sleep well at night, probably an improper position. Let's see. Is Beyond Meat running? Speaking of. It's just kind of back in that zone, man. I don't know about running, but it's up 7%, so that's nice. Yep. Just take your time. Maybe that's because you're always drinking. I am drinking a lot. That is true. Let's see. I do drink a lot. I'll be in New Orleans this week. I'm going on Friday or Saturday. If you're in town, let me know. I'll be there for several weeks. I want to come see your house, Mike, if you're still on here. Now that you're all moved in. We'll have to go to dinner. Yeah, I might try to do a little something organized. I don't know. I'm talking about doing one at my house, like a whiteboard session. We can record it. We'll see. Oh, you switched from YouTube to Instagram. Thought about doing that. I don't know how that would look with people coming, but still thinking on that idea, that concept. Let's see. But we'll definitely do some sort of get together at least. I'd like to do some whiteboard ones. 80% of us would be better off financially if we listen. Probably so. I get shit wrong too, though. I'm here, bro. Can't wait to show you. All right. I should know when Jazz Fest is, but I actually do not like jazz. So I know a lot of jazz in New Orleans. I don't dislike it, but it's very fucking difficult to listen to for too long. I'd much rather listen to the blues, rap, or heavy metal than jazz. When is Jazz Fest, bro? I should know this. I thought they canceled Jazz Fest. Silly question. Your book would help another market, right? Principles are the same. Yeah, of course. Bitcoin, stocks. I mean, it's all the same. Yeah, you own some rentals too, don't you? You're the guy was sending. You're the one that was helping me down in Panama City, right? Sending me out my man there helped me out. He's a realtor down that area, and sent me some comps and things like that on rental prices. Oh, Mike knows. Oh, that's in April. Yeah, I'll probably be there then. I'm trying to go for all the events this year. I'm gonna try to spend most of the year there this coming year. I've just got to work out some logistics on my house here. I'm probably going to, I don't know. I got to figure it out. I got to figure out, I have a person that stays at my house when I'm not here. So sometimes I got to coordinate around them too. Yeah, it works with any, where's Lance? My New Year resolution, I'm going to be a much nicer educator. I'm not going to curse or yell at people. I'm going to do my very best not to do that. It tends to cause me problems. Let's see. I think that's it, man. We got everything covered. Do you follow the 1% rule for your rental properties? No. Always remember all those things you see, the 1%, all that shit's made up, man. They just made that up one day. They just totally fucking made it up. I've got properties that are 0.6% and they rent. Some places, you would never buy a property. If you follow the 1% rule, you will never get a house. Ever. Never. You will never own property because it'll never be there. It'll never fall to the 1%. And what he's talking about is that you can rent a house at 1%. You go to my house of the value. So like this house here is the one I just sold to be able to acquire that beach house. I rolled this. It was $200,000 and it rented for $1,200. That is not the 1% rule. The 1% rule says this would rent for $2,000 a month. They don't rent for that where I live. So, like this here, I paid $54,000 and it rents for $900. See, that is more like the 2% rule. And then in the same town. So, in a lot of places, you're not going to be able to get them at 1%. And we like nice professional GP, much more conducive to learning. A lot of properties will cash flow without. Yep, me too. I don't use the 1% rule at all. I just run how much is my cash, I just run the numbers. I don't care what percentage it is. Let's see. Yeah, I trim dividend stocks. Not constantly though. Let's see. Yeah, I'll still try to be blunt. I'm just going to try to calm down from flipping out on people as much as they probably need it. And you'll notice on my houses, almost all of them is 2-bedroom, 1 bath. That's just what I like to do. because they're easier to work on. Not all of them. Here's a 3-1, but a lot of them, and then there's a 1-1. So, it's not like a hard and fast rule. It's just, even a one-bedroom house can rent. This is one of my best deals that I've gotten, and that was recently. And to be honest, I kind of paid a high price for it, but it was sitting on 2 acres. It's a 2-acre yard, which is huge. You could build a whole nother house beside it. So I knew that was going to add value. And that basically was like a tiny, it's 100 and, it's like 750 square feet. It's pretty small. Why 1 bath? You only got 1 bath to repair. See, like when you're a landlord, every time they open that door, that's one less time that door is going to open. Every time they open this window, that is one less time that window is going to open. And so I like to rent. I like to buy 2 ones. That means I only got to buy 1 toilet. I only got to put down, so for the floor size, 800 square feet, that's 800 square feet of flooring. You got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, 2-car garage. You're going to put down 4 to 5 times the flooring that I put down. Your roof is going to be 4 to 5 times the size of my roof. You're going to have 2 toilets, 2 this, 2 that. All that shit adds up, man. And now you multiply it times lots of units. Imagine if every one of these houses had 2 bathrooms. That's 16 more toilets I got. You start adding all that shit up, man. And all of this is cost. You got to take this into account too. This guy that rents this, single person, single person, single person, single person, single person, single person, single person. Why would I rent single people? Why would I prefer that? They ain't got no kids banging my doors, slamming the windows, flushing Legos down the toilet, all that stuff, man. You got 5 kids in here, they're going to fuck that house up. You're going to get it back fucked up. You're going to get it back. Floors are all scratched. You're going to have to I'm telling you. So you want your house to stay nice, not that damaged. You rent it to single people. Yeah. Now you could have house parties, but I have a very simple rule. On that. If I'm ever called, if the police ever come here, if when I walk through there's ever a thing, I'm just evicting you into conversation. Now, the other thing, too, is the type of single person that I'm renting to. I go one step further. They probably work out of town. They have a very high demanding job. They really just need a place to lay down. They're working on their PhD. They work for an oil company offshore and they're gone most of the time. The more that I hear people say they're not going to be home, the more that I like them as a renter. A lot of people don't know this. I can't teach this in videos because the shit's illegal. You can't legally say I'm only looking for a single person who's not home very much, who has a high-paying job. You're not allowed to do that, okay? I'm just telling you how I do it. I'm just telling you how I do it. Now, is that a 100% hard and fast rule? No. I allow pets. I don't allow pets in this one. Get it? Yep, people have rights. So you got to work around that. So I've just found ways to work around that. For 7 years, I had a single mom live here. Everything was fine. They didn't fuck the house up. Fine. Again, it's not a hard and fast rule. It's just who's my ideal tenant. The ideal tenant is someone who pays me rent and never lives in the house. That's a perfect tenant. Imagine, and I've had people do this. I've had people rent a house from me and only stay there once a week because their job pays for it. That is the ideal tenant. They're never there. I love that tenant. How often do you go up on rent? Every 6 months. Every time I do a lease, at least $5 as a general rule. You want to constantly be raising, just like the perfect gym membership, right? Is someone who pays and never comes to the gym. That's the ideal candidate. But, obviously you don't get that very often. But if you do, it's a wonderful thing. This here is a couple, but they're a young couple with no kids, couple dogs. They're cool. This house is conducive to that. The entire house is tile flooring. Great for dogs. Some of these houses are old wood floors like this one. It can't be a big dog. It just can't work that way. Says he prefers a person that never works out. Yeah, exactly. Those are perfect people, man. You get them too, man. You'll get people like that. This guy just moved in and just got a divorce. And I never seen a house so clean. It's like I have a house cleaner and it's cleaner than mine. He's a neat freak. I was thinking like maybe he's disposing of bodies or something in there. It's so clean. Like he was covered up something. Let's see. These are just little things. You can't write these in books or teach these things, though. You can't tell people how to evict people. Like, you're not supposed to do that. You can get in trouble for that shit. Let's see. Everybody says keep cursing. Well, I'll try to use it more appropriately then. Let's see. I think that's it, man. I've been I did a video. The last few videos I've been talking about real estate, and I did. Let me see. That walkthrough on video 2 or 3 is this house right here. And as you can see, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 900 square feet. This is my bread and butter. You can sell these at any time in the market. These are never overpriced. I mean, they're overpriced, but they're never hard to rent. These are the lowest rents you can get and have a quality real house. It doesn't go, quality homes don't go any lower than 2-bedroom, 1-bath. So these are the lowest square footage, which allows me to make them nice. I can do them myself, and then I can ask for a pretty decent rent. And if I needed to sell them, really easy to sell a starter home. You get into 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Those are the types you want to flip. You want to flip stuff that has value that a family can see themselves. These are not flippers. These are renters. These 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Maybe you could flip this one, and to tell you a story, a lady sold me this one because God told her to. How about that? Literally. God told her to. Meaning I came and this is what she told me. I came and looked and we shook hands and I said a couple of nice things to her and I was looking at the house. Later that day, she told her agent to go with my offer even though it wasn't the highest because God told her to. I don't know if they did or not, but I appreciate it. Whoever told her that, I appreciate it. I have more stories like that than you would believe, which is why I teach this stuff like shit will come to you if you're looking. Like, you could have no money, and if you're out looking for real estate, sometimes you could be like, can I ask you why you're selling? And they go, well, I want to move to blah, blah, blah. I could use them. I say, well, what if you carried the note? And again, just by being out there, man, you can come across crazy deals, man, that if you just sit at home and go, well, these prices are too high, those aren't coming to you. Those are coming to people that are out there walking around looking for them, man. Looking for them. I look at houses all the time. I have no intention of buying. I'm sorry for the realtors that have to take the time to show it to me, but it's like test driving a car you have no intention of buying. I do it all the time. All the time. I went and looked at 3- and 4-bedroom condos at the beach that I had no money. I could not possibly afford to buy this. I am not buying this. I'd just like to see it, please. But why? Because I want to have one of these one day, so I need to see what it looks like. Where do you find those? On Realtor. On Realtor. Every house I've ever bought, I bought off the MLS. But I'm filtering. I'm looking for 2-bedroom, 1-bath houses. So I'm not looking for 3. I'm looking for 2 1s. And I'm looking for them under 150 grand. And the moment they hit, I get a little ding. Ding. The only notification I have on my phone, not even my wife, if she calls, the phone does not vibrate. The only reason my phone vibrates is when Realtor posts a new property that is under 150 grand. And then my phone vibrates. Bzz. That's it. It's the only reason. It's the only reason that I'll have any notification. Not for stocks, not crypto. I don't have any notifications on Instagram. None of that shit. The only notification I have on my phone is when a 2-bedroom, 1-bath hits my town and it's under 150 grand. And then I immediately flip over and look at it. And if it's in the right area, I call and I immediately go over there. And then I go walk it. without the realtors. I go drive around, look in the windows, look around, and then I call the realtor, usually from there, and see if I can get in. Some states will let you in. Some states get really weird, you know. This here, you won't believe me, but I bought this as a foreclosure for $24,000 cash. It was in really bad shape. And then, of course, I did all this. It took me like $40,000 to get it up and going. And it's in a really bad neighborhood, like a really bad neighborhood. And guess what? It rents. And people stay there 2 or 3 years, and then they go, man, I love the house. I hate the neighborhood. And then they leave. Okay, bye. And then the next person comes in. I mean, this is, yeah, clean. All mine are clean, but it's in a really bad neighborhood. Like, you could get shot here. And I allow them to have dogs. Shit, have 3 pit bulls. Let them in the house. I don't care. I encourage them to have pets in the house because the one thing about landlords that don't like dogs, the problem with that is dogs will guard your house. Like, that's how I see it. I see dogs as guard dogs. Fuck yeah, I'd love you to have a dog. But it's got to be where it won't damage the home. And I don't want outside dogs. I want inside dogs. Because an outside dog isn't helping me. I need an inside dog so nobody goes in my house. So that's how I see it. What part of Cali? Oh, you guys are talking about... yeah, that's how I look at dogs, man. Dogs are very good. Dogs are very good watchdog, usually. Now, you know, they got a little Shih Tzu or something, but... you don't even want to know the price on this one. This was they were going to tear it down. It was behind a gas station. And I talked to the guy, and they were going to tear it down. It was in pretty bad shape. The windows were busted. You know, it's in a very bad neighborhood. It was behind a gas station. An Indian guy owned it, you know. Welcome to 7-Eleven, you know. And I was like, hey, man, what's up with that house? And we got to talking back and forth. And I told him, well, you know, give me, how much would you like for it? Like, if I handed you $100 bills, what would you take right now? And we went back and forth. We both got realtors, and we settled on what I thought was a very reasonable price. 15, 20 grand into fixing it. It's been rented ever since. You know, there you go. Super simple. This one's by my house. So convenience stores are excellent resources. Anytime I'm working on a property, I go find the nearest convenience store, and then I go there every day. And I try to get to know all the people working at the convenience store, and I let them know, hey, I own that house over there. And what happens then is they start talking to me about, often, not all the time, but sometimes they'll talk to me about real estate or tell me about another house or tell me some problems in the neighborhood. And I use that as a lead. And, especially if the owner's working there, it tends to work better. That can turn into leads to other properties, other things, man. I'm telling you. The guys that run the convenience stores know shit, man. A lot of them own Bitcoin too, by the way. Let's see. Where are the good deals in Texas? Wherever you're standing. You know, I don't know. I don't want to buy in Texas anymore. So Texas is turning into California. It's going to flip here soon. I'm looking to leave the area, but there's good deals everywhere, man. You just got to walk them. You got to have the money to do it too, man. Once you have the money and you can walk them, and none of these are fancy houses, man. None of these are fancy houses. I've got some video footage. It's all older. Back before I really knew how to work the camera smartly, like you should turn it sideways for all your videos, not up and down. So I have all this footage of remodels, but it's me holding my phone up and down. So when I got to resize it. It's a pain in the ass. But there we go, man. I battled enough. How to Win. That's a good book. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Exactly. That's where I get it from. I mean, you want to talk to everybody, man. You never know where a lead could come from. Could come from a realtor. And a lot of times, if you get in cool with realtors, they get deals that never even hit the MLS. I mean, or can get you on it immediately, or because they're talking to each other, man. Like, so, get in with them. Get to know them. If you're legit. But you got to have some money if you're going to do that. And I go broke on all my houses. Every time I buy a house, I go broke. Because it's even 20% down. I mean, it's a lot of money. You know, you go broke. Like, you know, even this was my very first property, though. Look, 700 square feet. Tiny. It's paid for now. $800 a month. I ain't no jack shit. Like, I just put 20% down, got the property. And I just figured it out from then. Do you recommend maxing retirement accounts first or buying rental properties? I would do rentals because that's what I did. You know, for me, stocks are a hobby. I obviously do it at a big level now, but real estate always works, man. And it gives you so much flexibility that a stock doesn't. I never hear anybody say I'm down 40% in my house. Now, the one thing stocks do give you that a house doesn't is sometimes because you can come down so much in a stock, you can get really good deals all the time. If I told you this house was down 40%, people would be lined up to buy it. If I tell them a stock is down 40%, they're asking me if they should get out of it. So one thing that real estate does, I think, is help ground you in value. That I see, you know, when these NFTs and even some of the crypto where people have lost their fucking minds on what value is. They don't have no fucking clue how to value shit. You can't tell me a digital painting is worth $12 million. It's fucking retarded. Now, I get it. They're doing that, and I get it. Price is right, and I get it. People are like, but that is absurd. You know what you could do? With $12 million, you could buy $50 million apartment complex that would make the next 50 generations of your family rich. So the idea of the value is that whole sector is lost. They've lost their damn mind. So they don't know how to value things. They might think they do. I make all my friends mad in that space, but that's absurd, man. You know, I can't get my mind around it, man. You know, it is what it is, but when you start doing houses, you get value. You got to invest back into your property. So when a water heater goes out, you got to go to Home Depot and buy a new one. Well, if your stock drops, best way to improve your position is probably pick up some lower if you believe in it. And so just like houses require money, your stocks require money. You know, the difference is with a dividend stock, you get a little drip, and with a rental property, you get a little drip, right? The problem with a growth play or an NFT or something like that is it doesn't necessarily do that. So then you got to be cool with that volatility and take advantage of it, picking up some lower. Even if it's just you don't have to double your position. If you just add 10 or 20% to your position, it doesn't take near as much to get back to even, man. Plus other stocks should run up, right? And you're trimming those and you're adding, but that's a whole different thing, man. Samantha, you're married. Good, bro. Let's see. No, I wouldn't buy it. There's no way, man. There's no way I'd put that kind of money on something like that. When you understand real estate, there's no way. There's no way. You know, I see guys doing that, dropping 40, 50 grand, bragging about. There's no way I would go buy a house. There is no way I would do that. It's crazy to me. I'm not talking about small ones, $50, $100. I could get that game, but yeah, delusional. People are delusional. And they may keep going. Fuck, maybe they'll get rich. I don't know. Maybe they'll get rich, but I know that's not how you value something. And a guy will pay that for an NFT, and if I said, how much is a water heater? What do you mean? How much is a water heater that goes in your house? I don't know. But you use it every day to take a shower. But I don't know how much it costs. But I know how much an NFT cost. Like, people got their value system all fucked up, man. Have no clue how much drywall costs, but you know how much a fucking naked monkey costs? That's like, what is wrong with the world, man? You know? It's the same in like crypto. Like when you start talking crypto and you realize there's 10 trillion of those coins, right? They don't understand that the more supply you have, Like, it can never be the price of Bitcoin. You understand that, right? Because when you multiply the price times the number of coins, there's not enough money on planet Earth. So when you hear someone saying, "Oh, that, do you think this could be Bitcoin?" No, it can't be. There's not. You can't. It's a trillion of them. It's not possible. It's not possible. So I think most people understand that have been doing crypto for a minute, how to value a crypto coin and what is a logical price target based on how many coins there are and the current price and market cap. I think most people get that. I don't, but I think some people are still struggling with it. But that's what real estate will do for you. Get your mind around the value of things. Real value, man. Like, what does it really cost? Let's see. That's it, huh? $400, huh? Yeah, you probably get a water here for $400. Would I recommend using a property manager starting out? No. Stop being fucking lazy, sir. Stop passing off your work to other people. You're not that busy. You really have not much going on. You spend so much time fucking off doing nothing. You can manage your own properties. So much of your time is wasted looking at yourself in the mirror, fucking around watching TV, hanging out with your stupid friends. So much of your time is completely fucking wasted that the idea that you would turn it over to a property manager is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Now, if you're an ER surgeon, I'd probably give you a pass. You should turn that over to a manager. But if you actually take days off in your week, no, you should not turn it over to a property manager. And the big part is how much you're going to learn, like he said, doing it. Plus, you're going to save money. Why do you need somebody else to collect your money? I don't need. So if on these properties here, if I hired a property manager for all this shit, I'd be paying $2,000 a month. Why do I need to pay somebody $2,000 a month to collect my money? And then if there's a phone call, they're still going to call you. They're going to be like, hey, a water heater went out. We need you to approve buying it. And you're going to be like, well, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to go back and forth anyway, man. So you might as well just handle it yourself, man. Yeah. Plus you get to learn how to talk to people. And you ever hear me talk about other people have your money, man. All the money you want is in other people's pockets. And as salesmen know this, right? They know this intuitively. But sometimes when we're like workers where we get paid by the hour, and if you kind of drag ass that day, you still get paid. You kind of forget where money comes from. It comes from other people. It really does, man. For sure. When people are shocked by Bitcoin so high, it's cool to see that it's up there for a while. Let's see. It's easy. I see 8 units in LA work full time. Yeah. Dude, I have months. Nobody calls. Not a call. Not one phone call. And boom, save $2,000. Not one phone call. I've had 6-month runs. No phone calls. Just rent collect, rent collect, rent collect, rent collect, rent collect. No phone calls. And then if they do call, you're still in charge. And they can't call me in the middle of the night. I don't answer the phone. $2,000 a month. I can live off that. Take property. Save. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I would not use a manager. Now, out of state, you got to use a manager. You're not there. You can't do it. Like, come on. It's going to be really difficult to do it from out of state. That's very difficult. Although I got a friend, or a new friend, he's got 5 Airbnbs. He runs them all from his house in a totally different state, and he made over $100K in cash flow last year in addition to his job. Running Airbnb. And I'm pretty sure if I wanted to, I could run my Airbnb from home on my cell phone. You get locks, you hit a button, it opens. You change when they leave, the code changes. They pay online. Like, it's not that complicated. You have cleaners, you set up the handyman guy. It's not that hard, man. You could. I don't want to, but you could. Yes, I'm going to have a manager for the beach house. And they're going to charge 20%, and I'm going to pay it. Yeah, I mean, I had 9 houses before I quit my job. Coolest thing about real estate to me is seeing the loan pay down and value go up. Yeah, can't beat it, man. Plus the leverage, right? Plus the leverage. Let's see. What's up, Anthony? Yep, man. I would even encourage people doing some of the work themselves just so you can see how it works and begin to value time. Is it worth paying a painter that? Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Sometimes it's worth it, man. If you got a lot of shit to do, you're a busy person, then it's worth it. If you don't have shit to do, in my opinion, it's probably not worth it. How have you found good folks to manage your beach house? I interviewed them. So we went and talked to 4 or 5 different agencies. I randomly talked to people that were there. Hey, do you own a beach house? And I asked them, who's your manager, blah, blah, blah. And we just tried out different ones. If they didn't call me back in a timely fashion, off the list, next. And I just interviewed them. What's your procedure for this? How does this work? What about cleaning? I just went down the list. Yeah, that's a good idea. Got to leave money flow journal in the Airbnb for members to leave notes. Yeah, that's cool. I had thought about that. If like people inside my own circle end up renting it, we could that would be cool. Need a separate sign-in book for that shit. This is determination, not a motivation. Gerald, real motivates. Appreciate you. You're in the ICU, bro? Hopefully you're working there. Now, some jobs you make enough money and you're that busy, you don't need to do it yourself. I get it. But most people, that's not the case. Yeah, no, I've never had a problem with rentals when the market crashed. Showed my brother your story. He had so many excuses he didn't make enough to buy a property. I bet he took days off, though. Let's see. Yeah, I had 9 before I quit my job, but I also had a lawn care business I was doing. I was doing other shit. I didn't want to quit it, but it just got to where I couldn't expand anymore, so I had to drop something, and that I dropped the job. What do you think about investing in multifamily homes? Putting 3 to 5% down and live in one unit and collect rent. Yeah, the only reason I would condone this 3 to 10% down payment stuff, if you're an investor, you're putting 20% down. That's how you get cash flow. The one time that I'm like, yeah, you don't need to do, maybe you could get away with not doing that is if you're house hacking. Because some of that's already going to be eaten up because you were already going to pay rent yourself anyway. Yeah, I like that idea. 3 to 4% though, dude. Fuck. If all your renters move out, you got to ask yourself, are you going to be able to make this payment? So if you make sure that answer is yes. How do you teach your kids about real estate? Go buy some and show them as you're doing it. Did you mow lawns in the rich neighborhood? No, there's no really, yeah, a few of them, but there's not really like really rich in my area. I would just find houses that need their yard mowed, man. I was 32 when I first purchased first property. Did your parents or in-laws loan you money when you started out? No. Yeah, my man says, I did a triplex, 3.5% down, rented out the other 2 units when I was 24, moved out when I was 26. Should have stayed living there. Yeah, because his living cost was super cheap. I never know how to say your name. Yurvi? It's my friend from Canada. Appreciate it. I was 28 when I bought my first property. Now I'm 30. Yeah, I was older, man. I was, let's see. Anthony's over there. So anyway, I'm babbling now. I was older. I was 32. I got a late start. I went to the Army for 7 years. Kind of slowed me down. In a way. How many houses did you purchase every year after that? I try to buy at least 1 a year. That's always been my goal. 1 a year. If you buy 1 a year, you'll be a very wealthy person. That's it. 1 a year. And then you work on it, get it up and rented, start saving for the next one. That's how I did it. I had 5 houses before I started aggressively putting money in stock market. And then the money I put in the stock market came from my renters. I'll text you pronunciation. 31, but that's super reassuring, yeah. My friend Rick Jarman went bankrupt at like 42 years old, lost all of everything, and by the time he was 60 again, he had 128 properties. But you got to move, like you need to live in a town where that's even possible. You know, you can't live in New Jersey and be like, man, I really want to get into real estate and have a low-paying job. That's just not going to happen, dude. You got to move, man. Everyone thinks you're supposed to be 22 and own 10. Yeah, no. I've seen people do it, but that's not me, man. Yeah, I'm not paying the monthly payment. The renters are. You put all the other money in your pocket. And the goal is not to pay the properties off at first. You don't want to do that. You want to stack properties. You don't want to have one paid for. You want to take that and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want to pay your properties off until you get going. You know, when you're pushing close to 10 properties, you need to start thinking about paying some off because they only allow you to have 10 mortgages. You're not allowed to have more than 10. So then you got to do shit like roll it into a note, and the bank does a 30-year note on like a 5-year arm, and then they pay off your mortgages, and it gets a little more complicated. I could have had a rental, but they broke into my home and stole some cash I saved. That's not cool. You need to better start keeping that somewhere else, bro. Do you ever do multiple mortgages on a house to buy more? No. Save up the money. You could. I just don't like that idea. I don't like that idea. I like you to be able to save up money and buy another one. You could equity out, but I mean, you got to pay the loan back, so you're not really getting ahead, really. I mean, not really. If you can refinance the note completely, like, let me give you an example. That one I just showed in the video, this one, you know, I bought it. I held it for 9 years. I'm collecting rent, and the loan came due because I do ARMs. I do 5-year ARMs. So when a loan came due, well, we had been paying on this total for 9 years. And during that time, the value of the home had doubled, and we had 9 years of down payments. So I went and refinanced, taking the loan back to the original amount, and I walked out with a check for $45,000. I still had 80-something thousand in equity, and my rents had gone up, so my cash flow increased, and they gave me a check for $45,000. That is something that is very unique to real estate, is the ability to do that. Which then I went and bought some. I put $25,000 of it in AG&C, the mortgage REIT, and I took the other part and I went out and did some improvements on another property. Let's see. Have you ever done joint ventures? Now, I'm not a big fan in that, man. Most people I meet are lazy, and you know, they don't work as hard as I do. I don't trust them to do it. Most people quit everything. So no, it's hard for me to get behind joint ventures and things like that because I just don't see people pushing as hard as I do. If I came across someone like that, maybe, yeah, I have a website for all my properties. Why would you not? I have a website for myself. I have a website for my stock trading, petersreport.com. You should go by your own name. Gerald, when you were working for TDC, when I was in TDC, you are an inspiration, brother. Oh, what unit did you work at, man? What about refi and taking some out? Yep, I do that. Put that cash into Bitcoin. I got plenty of money in Bitcoin, man. You know, you don't want to be the guy that you're getting all out of one thing and then all into another. That strategy's never worked for me. So once I come across something new, let's say I got into NFTs, I would just put all my new money into NFTs. I wouldn't go sell old shit to buy it. I would put all the new money into the new thing. I might trim it. I might do something like that, but I get people all the time like, why don't you just sell your house and buy Bitcoin? Man, are you crazy? How much do you recommend for an emergency fund when you invest in real estate? About the same. I don't think you need to have more just because you have real estate. Yes, Alex, that is why I would leave New Jersey. Never interrupt compounding, yeah. Well, it is for a reason. There's a lot of people there with money. You should own your own domain. I don't know why you wouldn't. It's very expensive to do real estate in New Jersey. Let's see. Do you think it's a good idea to borrow from your 401k to get into real estate? No, I don't like that idea. I'd be cool with stop putting money into your 401k to save up to buy it. I don't hate it. It's it's a smart. I'd rather see you do that than like pull it out and spend it, of course. I don't know. I think what I don't like about it is I would rather see you lower how much you're putting in and save money to do it. Like I'd rather just stop putting in money in retirement at all. Just stop and transfer that money to a checking account and then save up the damn money and go buy the property. That's what I'd rather see you do. The reason I say that is you have to do that for So let's say, like I get these people all the time. Well, I want to pull equity out of my house. I'm going to do what do you call it? What do you call it? Loan where you're going to take money out of your personal home and you're going to go buy a property. Okay. How are you going to buy number 4? Meaning it's not a repeatable process. You can't keep banging against your house. And the reason you're doing that is you don't have the ability to save money. And so you didn't fix anything. Now you have a HELOC on your personal home. You just put your family at risk to get into an adventure that you don't know if you're going to be good at. You might pick a fucking money pit. You might pick the worst fucking house ever. Now what? Now you got a loan on your house and you got a shitty house you can't even rent. So, that's what I don't like about it, because you're not building up the muscle of being able to make money, save money, and then invest money. And that you really need to be able to do that, man. Yeah, it's common for young people because they're impatient fucks who won't build the discipline of saving, and nobody will look them in the face and tell them that. Stop being fucking lazy and stop spending your money and save it and go get a fucking job and stop taking days off and get the money and act like you actually want the shit. That's an option too, is act like you give a fuck. Like if you wanted to play for the Dallas Cowboys, something tells me you're going to have to work real hard at it. And if you wanted to be the greatest whatever on planet Earth salesman, you're going to have to work real hard at it. So why not take that same concept and apply it to your own life? And stop looking for shortcuts. That's what people do. They're always looking for shortcuts. They want to shortcut it. And a lot of times the only reason they have money in the 401k and the only reason they have money in the house is because they haven't touched it. And so by not touching it, it actually created wealth for you. And now they want to go touch it, So that's my personal belief, is that's why I don't do partnerships. Because if my partner took days off, I can't fucking be a partner with this guy. I don't take days off. Why are you? So that's why I don't do partnerships. Yeah, most people do come up. Manhattan, God, I can't even imagine what it costs in Manhattan. Right now I'm just sitting on it. I bought it. I need to go buy some new furniture. I got to get some time to go and do some stuff up there. I got a couple contractors going to come in and do some painting for me and things like that. I have 17 total. Young kids want to hack everything. Yeah, there's no hack for it. Other than the house hacking. That's a pretty good hack, though, to be for real. Like they said, buying the multifamily living one. That's a pretty good house hack, man. Or just buying a house and bringing in a roommate is a great house hack. Question, my brother lives in my home but is about to move. Good. Should I sell that home to put money into dividend stocks or rent it out again? Are you crazy? Why would you sell the house to put it in dividend stocks? No. Man, you better go watch my millionaire videos because you're about to make a really stupid decision. That would be really dumb to sell a house and put it in dividend stocks. that there's so many things you could do here, and I don't know your position in it. I don't know how much equity you have in the house. I don't know what's your payment. What's your payment and how much equity do you have in the house? How do you find good, honest contractors? You don't. You just work with the shitty ones. Let's see. If you were starting out, would you save cash or buy crypto, then borrow against it? It's difficult mentality to save cash when its purchasing power is being... Oh, stop it. That's some shit you're reading. You're not going to save your whole fucking life. You're just saving. And if in 1 year, what do you save $2,000 and now it's only worth $1,980? Inflation is not what's going to keep you from buying a fucking property. Your lazy ass taking days off, not saving enough money, and not fucking being serious is what's going to do it. People do this shit. They get all intellectual. You're like, what's your net worth? They're like, 0. Then don't talk about inflation, man. The fucking problem is not inflation. It's not having enough money. You need to stack fucking cash. We're not doing $100 a month. You're going to save all your money and you're going to go buy a house in like 6 to 8 months, man. What are you bullshitting on? Seriously, dude. How the fuck do you go on vacation and you can't make this happen? Like, how do you buy your girlfriend Christmas presents, but you can't make this happen? How do you go out and eat dinner and you can't make this happen? Like, this is the way I talk to myself, man. Fuck that, dude. Like, you need to get a girlfriend that's helping you on this game or drop her. You need to get a boyfriend that's helping you on this game or drop them. Like, at some point, you got to get fucking serious. And inflation. So this beach house that I just bought that I paid cash for, I saved that cash for 19 months. Banging it in the bank. 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 Banging in the... I'm not reading some shit by Ray Dalio talking about the coming fucking... That's not what I'm doing. I'm stacking cash, man. And my purchase is going to be $315,000. I'm not going to do it when I'm an old man. I need to do it now. So I sold a house for $200. I saved the other $110. Took me 19 months. Bam. Paid cash. Inflation's not even in the equation. Boom. Pay cash. Now it's going to pay me $3,000 a month. You get what I'm saying? Like, this ain't an all-day thing, man. Like, if that plays in at all, even I get people all the time, well, I could be earning savings rate. If 4% makes any difference in you saving for a house, you're not even trying to save, man. You're doing something else. Like, you're not even saving. Like, the interest return on the money should not even be, it shouldn't even be involved in this because you're not holding it that long. You're not going to wait that damn long. And then the moment, this is the straight line that I talk about. If you do what I say, I promise you, you will have houses. And what it is if your goal is to buy a house, it's not Bitcoin, it's a house. And you focus on the house. I'm not saying you can't buy a little Bitcoin, but the focus is on the fucking house. And everything in your life is about that, getting that property. That's how you get them. This is the only way, guys. And when you make $12.50 an hour, and you're a prison guard, like, look, then go, like, how do you acquire so many prizes? You have to straight line, man. Which means when I was buying this, I was missing out on Netflix going up. I was missing out on this stock going up and BlackBerry and all these stocks, they were going up, man. I'm missing out because I'm buying this. I'm buying this. I'm not sidetracking it. Oh, wait, maybe I'll buy an NFT. I was going to buy real estate, but now I'm looking at NFTs. Yeah, well, you'll never own it. You're sidetracked, man. Most people are sidetracked. And I know it when they give me 3 things. Should I put it here, go here, or hold it in a bit? No, man. Make a fucking decision and go after it. So if you're going to buy real estate, put the money in a checking account, stack it up, and then go buy it. And stop, doing other dumb things. And go walk properties. Most of this is because of the shit in your head. You're listening to people who are telling you other things. That's why. Most people are listening to people who are telling them other things. Let's see. Yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge. It's huge. You're like, I think I want to be a bodybuilder. Maybe I should do aerobics. Oh, wait, here's a new jazzercise exercise. I should go do that. That is not how you get to be a bodybuilder. Like, it's point A to B, man. Yeah, that's my... I really believe that. Let's see. Bringing it in, the blank, Fort Low, baby, and Chris Johnson. Let's see. My fiance is my partner. Not really. You're not even married. But anyway, she's your girlfriend. We have 2 rentals together. That's stupid. You're not even married. About to close on the 3rd. Now, I like that, but I would not advise anyone else do what you did. You should be married before you do that. We push each other to keep adding every day. That's good. So get married. Stop bullshitting. You don't need some big ceremony. You need to just get married. Stop living like that. You got a partner that if she drops dead, your partner's going to be your mother. Her mother. You need 20% of the cost of the ideally, yes. Don't buy properties with people you're not married to. I've done hundreds of these horror stories, man. Now, he's pulled it off, and sometimes it works great. But it's a bad idea. No, sir. Is 20,000 20% of 150,000? It'd be 30,000, sir. We're using American math. Out here ruining my life chasing women. Why are you chasing women, bro? They should be chasing you. What do you think about property managers if you buy a house in a state you don't live in? Yes, I think you have to do that. There's no other choice. Why 20% not 30%? So that you cash flow? It's called real estate investing. You don't need an LLC. Yep, don't need an LLC. Invite us all to the wedding. Facts. Where can I find how you explain terrible idea that it is? You need someone to explain to you. You shouldn't be in a partnership with someone you're not married to. Come on, man. You know that. That's a terrible fucking idea. They could leave you, and now you have a house you can't sell. They could decide they don't want to be in the relationship with you. There's a million things that could go wrong. They could die in a car wreck, and now your partner it's not your house. It goes to her mother or her father. Like, there's a million things that could go wrong, man. What are some good side? Let's see. We need a prenup. No, I'm not into prenups either. Don't marry her if you don't want to give her your shit. Period. Don't marry him if you don't want him to have your stuff. And if you're so greedy that you need to keep your stuff and you're not going to merge it, then don't get married. Yeah, I would never marry anybody with a prenup, man. Why are you marrying her? What's the longest you had a rental vacant? 1 year. Had a rental open for a year because I was working on it. A remix. Go watch my videos. Why put 20% down? Because it's called real estate investing. That means putting money into it. Use your fucking common sense. If you put 3% down, your mortgage is going to be a hell of a lot more than if you put 20% down, right? So it costs way more for a $100,000 mortgage than for a $80,000 mortgage. So that gives you cash flow when you rent it to people. And you put that money in your pocket. It's called real estate investing. Investing insinuates that you're putting money in. 3% is not money in. That's not investing. It's not. It's fucking chump change. 3%. Fuck, I could buy 3% of the Taj Mahal. 3%. Fuck out of here. That is not real estate investing. That is signing pieces of paper because you have no fucking money. And you shouldn't be buying properties if you're putting 3% in. It's because you're broke. That's why you're putting 3% in. And you also don't understand math. because they're going to charge you they're going to charge you for PMI, man. You're going to pay $75 for an insurance policy to the bank that says because you're so broke, they're afraid you might go bust on the loan. So no, you put 20% down. Are there rare circumstances where you can get around that? Yes. House hacking is one. If you're literally living there, could see it working. But as an investment, no. And people telling you that stuff are dumb. Even my friends that tell you, oh, you don't need to do that, they're dumb. And I'll tell them that too. My boss owned a business, wife left him, business failed, and while she lives in a gated home, he's in an apartment. That's what he gets. That happens, man. That's what happens to guys. I've been divorced too. Where's the best location in the U.S. to live and buy a house that keeps appreciating? How would I know that, sir? It's a fucking country of 350 million people. How could I possibly know that? Let's see. Now, an FHA loan, if you truly... Now, let me backtrack. When I talk properties, I'm talking as an investor. And whenever I do that, people go, well, I bought my house on an FHA loan. I know. That was for you personally. For you personally, if you're cool paying PMI, if you're cool not having equity in the house, if you're cool having a high mortgage, then by all means, FHA will get you into the property. It'll make you a homeowner. But if you're going to be, quote, an investor, why would you? It makes no sense. There's no reason to put 3% down. That means you're investing before you have the money to invest. You're not ready. That's why. So there's a distinction. So when I'm talking real estate, I'm talking as an investor. We're investing. Like we're investing to make money. And so we got to do it smart. And if you're putting no money down or 3%, you know how easily you could blow out? What if we have to lower rents? What if we go in, like there's so many scenarios where you end up being in a bad spot because you don't have the money to do it. The cash flow comes from the down payment. If you watch my last video, if you buy a house with no money down, you will probably rent it for even. If you put 20% down, you're probably going to make 2, 3, maybe more cash flow a month over the cost of mortgage, taxes, insurance, right? And maintenance. That money's tax-free. That's you getting your down payment back every month. And after 5 years, you don't have any money in the house. You got all your money back and it appreciated and the loan paid down. So one property that you put 20% in can increase your net worth $100K or plus in just 5 years. So now what if you bought one every year and you got 5? You'll have like $1 million in real estate in a very short order of time, man. But you got to want that shit. And most people, they don't. They do not want that. They don't. I can just look in your email box, your web browser history. They don't want it. But you can get very rich very fast doing this in a very short order of time. Like years, like 3, 4, 5 years, you stack some property, you'll be shocked, man. You're going to lose money every month. Yeah. I've had houses that lost money. Well, I've had a client who had to sell $2 million house because he got divorced and rent later. Oof. The 4 Ds, death, divorce, disinterest. What is it? Death, divorce, disinterest, and disease. The 4 Ds. 4 Ds are what gets you. Death gets everybody. Disease gets us, right? Get a good disease, that right there, that'll do it. Disinterest. This is the problem with partners. What if they get disinterested? They don't want to do it anymore. What if they get sick? What if they get divorced? What if your partner gets divorced and half of their shit goes to their wife and the wife don't like you, but now she's your partner? Like, man, this is the problem with partners. This is terrible. You better be very careful with partners. Very careful. Let's see. You can avoid 1D Yeah, yeah. You can influence them for sure, right? You can influence the D's, but man, the D's get everybody. One of them gets you, maybe two or three of them. Joe, sorry if I missed this. Do you consider properties that are not proximity to you? Yeah, I just bought one in Florida and I bought one in New Orleans. Now, the one in New Orleans is for me, but it's still a property. And it's kind of a business expense. Let's see. Yes, and I manage them. I mean, the one in Florida, I'm going to turn over to a property manager. Nightly. What are you guys talking about nightly? I'm going to send you some WD-40. Do I have a lot of squeaks? It's probably my chair. Houses out of the city, out of inflated prices. Michael thought that was funny. Anyway, man, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. At what point do you invest in stocks and crypto between purchasing properties? I think after you get a couple. Now, let me say something. That is the hardest part, what my man here just said. For me, I did this in stages, meaning I got 5 houses, and then I started building my dividend stock portfolio. Do you need to do it that way? No, you don't have to do it that way. People are going to do it different ways. And at different times, maybe, like let's say you live in New Jersey and there ain't no properties, then you should be going pretty heavy in, say, Bitcoin. You should be going pretty heavy in your dividend stocks. But here's what I do. I meet people, they live in an area where properties are really expensive. And then I go, well, how much are you saving? None. Well, then don't fucking matter. You could live where they're free. You can't afford one. Like, so my point is, if you're not doing houses right now, then just go heavy on something else. You should go heavy on something, man. Like you should be going heavy on something right now. I don't know what it is for you, and then it should change. Like it'll change as you build some. Just my personal opinion. And so if crypto's your thing, then go in heavy on it, man. The thing about real estate, though, is it gives you money. And then you can take the money and put it into your stocks. So what I did is I would buy a house, all the cash flow I put into the stock market. I'd save my money, go buy another house. Right? Now I got 2 of them, and I'm making $600 a month in cash flow. I put the $600 a month into the stock market, dogs of the Dow. Then I buy my 3rd house. Now I'm getting $900 a month, and I'm putting $900 a month into the stock market. And then I get my 4th house, and then my 5th, and then my 6th, and then my 7th, and then 8th, and then 9th, and then 10th, and I'm putting in $5,000 a month into the stock market. But I'm not buying stocks. I'm buying real estate. My real estate's buying stocks. See how that works? Now, I've had people say, well, that's your money. Yeah, I get that. But that's a little game that I would play. Man. Do I have a book on real estate? Nope. Let's see. Could be life-changing. If I started all over, I would do the exact same thing I just told you. I would buy real estate. I would go buy a house. I would get 2 or 3 renters in my house personally. That way I live rent-free. And then I would try to save up for the next one. And then I would start pushing any gains from that into my IRA so I could lower my taxes and my dividend stock. I would do the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing I would do. And I would buy $10 to $20 every single day of Bitcoin. I just put it on a drip, 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 just dripping all the time. And I would keep doing exactly the same thing I do now. Exactly the same thing I do every day. I just get up and do exactly what I'm doing. Do you also have properties in other countries? Nope. Let's see. Let's see. It would definitely be real estate. He says, all I use for getting renters is I I put a sign in front of the yard and I put it on Zillow. That's it. No, I buy stage ones, but I would have a drip every day anyway. That's just savings. I just put $10, $20 every single day in Bitcoin. Just automatically comes out every day. If you do that over the life of Bitcoin, it's a lot of money. So that's just a backstop. But then, no, I buy stage ones too. Which would you... No commercial properties. I do have Airbnb though. Yes, I love Airbnb. If you had an annual income of $300,000, would you go for bonds only? Oh my God. There is no risk in houses, sir. Why would you think bonds aren't risky? No, I would not buy bonds over stocks or houses. No. That's crazy talk. Let's see. They're giving out free real estate school. Really? I guess if you were buying the right bonds. That PIMCO bond fund, by the way, we're back to stocks. That PIMCO bond fund is on sale right now. It's got an 8% dividend yield. If you had two options, decent A+ condo or a best property outside the city, down cash flow positive, total $1,000 per month. I would do the outside the city. I guess it would depend on my skill set too. Like if you don't think you're going to work on it much, I'd probably go for the condo. Condo has a lot of built-in things where they're doing shit for you. You know, they're taking care of the roof, they're taking care of the parking lot. Typically, they're taking care of things. So as long as the condo fee paid for actual shit, then I would be cool with that. All right, man. You guys be good. Appreciate you.